Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes. I'm going to be taking more of your questions on various different topics. This question is from Holly, who had some lovely things to say about my singing voice. So thank you. Thank you for that. It really means a lot to me with my history of what it took to get there. So you did say, can you address stage fright and nerves, dropping lines? You've said you memorized everyone's lines. Perhaps you worked with actors who had serious stage fright. Curious what the pros do to overcome that hurdle. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had stage fright. I would experience it more usually in the audition process than in the performance. Oftentimes, I think I felt once I passed the hurdle of being hired, then I felt like, oh, that was an acknowledgement that they thought what I did worked and they hired me. So then I would feel like, great. So that would give me the confidence to go in feeling like I was walking into a situation where someone had already said, yes, we think you're right for this and we think you're going to do a good job. As opposed to the, oh, I'm now trying to convince somebody that I can do this and I hope they like me, and all of those pieces of auditioning. In terms of stage fright, I think being as prepared as possible, and I think learning to trust yourself, giving yourself pep talks. Hearkening back to that question from Tom about doing Cinderella, I do remember, and I can't repeat this exactly, but one of the members of the ensemble at that show before opening night, and I was nervous. It was a big theater and it was a big show, and kind of came up to me and before opening night, I said, have a great opening night, go out there and have a great time, and basically forget about them. Like sort of, that wasn't exactly what he said, but you can imagine. It just made me laugh. It sort of broke the tension because I realized that, yeah, I couldn't control how they were going to react to me. All I could do was go out there and do my best possible performance that I was capable of in that moment. I knew I was prepared. I knew my lines. I knew my songs, and just exude as much energy as possible and be as truthful in the role as possible. And so I thought, well, that's all I can do. And if they don't like it, I can't control that at that moment. It's a lot of people, I think I've heard that said, that you can't always control how people react to you, but you can, or what they say to you, but you can control how you respond to what happens. So that's kind of on you. If they don't like you, then it's up to me how I deal with people not liking a performance, not liking me, having some criticism of me. And those, I think, sometimes are the harder things for me to deal with, is how to let things go if I get a bad review or somebody says something mean about me, and to not spend my time worrying so much about what other people think, but focusing on doing the best job I can. So in terms of stage fright, I think do it. I would go out and I'd sing anywhere I could, or go out and perform anywhere, have people over to your house, and even if it's, in your living room, and do a little song for them, or do a monologue for them, or organize a little charades night. Do things that give you the opportunity, push yourself, make yourself get out there. I used to feel like I needed all kinds of rehearsal before I could go out and sing. I needed it all to be perfect. And then I started making myself accept opportunities where I maybe had only a day of prep, or can you do this on Saturday? And I just think, I won't be ready. And I went, yes. And I would make myself do it so that I pushed myself and began to realize that I could do these things. So that's what I think it is just be in the moment and do your best to have what you're doing reach the people that you're trying to reach. So in an audition, if I worried less about what I was saying than about connecting with the person that I was talking to and making sure that they received what I was saying, then my attention wasn't on myself anymore. It was on the other person. And it became about creating the effect I wanted on that person. If I was asking them something, if I was demanding something, did it work? Did they get it? And then paying attention. So those aspects of putting the attention someplace other than you, I think, is probably one of the big key ones. Hope that helps. This question is from, I think it's Mary Kay Batima, anyway, who says, as a director, do you work closely with the wardrobe department, the props department, the musicians, and the set designers who create the scenery, or does each of those departments pretty much work separately once they all have an understanding of the storyline and how their department contributes to that storyline? How much coordination occurs, and as the director, do you have the final say-so? So it depends on the size of the theater, but yes, there is a coordination that goes on. There are production meetings usually to go over the various different aspects and departments, and as a director, yes, you guide the vision of most of that, so it is the departments coming together to execute that vision. So having conversations with the costumer about the different characters and what, how you see them, and same thing with the set. What do you see? And it's back and forth. It's collaboration. I'm not going to tell them what set to build. I'm going to say this is the feel I think, and they're the expert. So I much prefer when other departments where there's people that really know their business and can handle those departments, because if I have to make those decisions, it's not going to be anywhere near as good as if somebody who does that. But yes, there is the coordination. I love that collaboration. And so they'll bring ideas to you, and I will, delegate a lot. And I will trust their input. If I feel like something isn't really serving it, then we'll have a conversation. It is definitely coordination in each department then with what they understand, they go and do it. I don't try to micromanage, but then it'll be like, great, let me see the costume. They'll want me to look at things. Or when you get into the lights, it's, I might say, can you make this brighter? Or can you focus something more over here? I think we need something different there. And so, but I try to respect other areas, their expertise, and not try to do their job for them. That's what I have for you for this segment of Behind the Scenes. I'll be back with more of your questions in another segment. Thanks for watching.